You're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you take your pain and play with it. I'm Nancy Norton. I'm a comedian and a registered nurse, and I got certified in therapeutic humor. And I go around talking about the power of humor, doing keynote presentations at conferences and wherever they'll have me. Let's talk about the power of humor, the therapeutic power of humor. That's what we're talking about here on Traumedy, mixing a little comedy with the trauma. And mainly this is for folks who are ready to heal, who are ready to be empowered around it. And I understand if you're not ready, we're not rushing you. Because if you're right in the middle of it, I don't know if it's realistic to laugh. It depends. But if you have a story to share, please contact me. It's Nancy Norton. It's nancynorton.tv, like television. That's my website. I also produce comedy shows called Nurses Off the Charts. And it's an interactive comedy show. It's not just for nurses, for healthcare workers or anyone who's ever been a patient or anyone who just appreciates nurses and healthcare workers. Half of the show is the audience sharing some outrageous healthcare stories. And just so you know, we limit the number of foreign body stories, but I have heard some of the best and worst, which I think are sometimes the same thing, foreign body stories. Very impressive. People are creative with what they will put in an orifice, and there are more orifices than I remembered from my anatomy and physiology. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Okay, the next Nurses Off the Charts show is November 21st, Thursday in Louisville, Colorado at the Louisville Underground. Join us and share a story. Feel free to email me a story or find my speak pipe through my website. If you go to Linktree, Nancy Norton on Linktree, there's a button there where you can tell your story and I can play it over the microphone at an event. All right, remember, we don't violate any HIPAA regulations, but we get close. Oh, this is part 2 with Jene Suplee, a comedian based in Denver, and very funny. She's only 3 years into doing stand-up and already so masterful at bringing her whole self to the stage and embodying her humor. She's precocious in many ways. And also, we just vibe together because TraumaBond.com. Sorry, that's my dating app. TraumaBond.com. If you want to get in a relationship that you can't get out, join TraumaBond.com. If you are a codependent like me and you want to meet a toxic sociopath, oh, God, do not go to TraumaBond.com. I do not own that website. If it is active now, that is not my website. Do not go there. A couple of disclaimers. We do talk a little bit about Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, and I sort of act like I know what's, advice, which I cannot give. I am a nurse. I can't give medical advice. So I'm going to do a disclaimer again as we talk about hypothyroidism. But I will say that my endocrinologist told me that she does see so many endocrine illnesses based in trauma. And it validates what Jene and I talk about later in the episode. We're also going to talk about very cool spiritual stuff. And remember, take your pain and play with it. Doesn't always mean comedy. You can play with it with poetry, with pottery, with dance, with planting a garden. I mean, there's just so many things. Just express, let it out. Tell Mother Earth all about it, or tell somebody on a podcast. Find out how healing it can be to actually speak your truth. But it's not without a price. When we speak our truth, and the dysfunctional rule of families with secrets is don't tell, don't talk. And at whose expense? That's what I always wonder. It's not okay that other people tell you not to speak when it's at your expense of your own well-being. If you are someone who has been speaking your truth for a while and you feel really vibrant and you want to share that message with other people, how you transcended the don't talk rule, even in the face of people telling you not to talk, I'd love to hear how you did that. If you want to come on the podcast and share that, because I just think that's one of the most empowering things. I would love to hear more about it because I still feel a little bit stifled. And remember, if you get triggered at any point during the podcast, to do some parasympathetic nervous system resets, which just a nice, slow, deep breath that can get you back to a state of rest and digest or breed and feed, depending on what mood you're in. But yeah, take a slow, deep breaths, sip of cool water, gargle with ice water, sing, dance, whatever gets you back to your state of happiness. Oh, and just a little teaser for next week. We have our special guest back. She was a favorite 10 months ago, Adira Ray, a board-certified psychiatrist who is working in psychedelic therapy and also here to talk about how do we manage during a time of uncertainty, like the election. Yes, that one will be, we'll be uploading that on Election Day. So tune in, Traumedy Tuesday. All right. Let's get on with this episode. I'm so excited because, I've always loved talking about spirit energy and spirit signs ever since I can remember, but it's become more and more a part of my daily life. We're going to start off talking about some spirit signs and sharing a little more traumedy, and thanks for listening, and maybe I'll see you at a show sometime. All right, peace and love, everybody. See you on the other side. Oh, this is part 2 with Jene Suplee. I often talk about resourcing spirit and have so many spirit guide stories, but you shared something that happened when your husband and you were meditating. Can you share about?
Yes. So I've had quite a few meditation experiences now, and my husband and I have actually had a couple of shared experiences.
Those are the best. When you see something
and we both
together,
kind of look at each other and we're like, are you saying what I'm saying? Like,
and you're not on mushrooms.
No, and we're not on mushrooms. We're, completely sober. And, so we were, we put our daughter to bed, and, we're kind of preparing for, a little vacation we're taking for our 5-year wedding anniversary. And
happy anniversary.
Thank you. And I was like, hey, we've had a lot going on, and you had a really long day and I had a really long day. Do you want to go meditate outside? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, and we'll do a moon meditation, because it was like a 3/4, it was almost a full moon. But we went into our backyard and kind of sat together, and we're, probably 15 minutes into the meditation, our cat kind of comes into the yard and is getting our attention. We're like opening our eyes. We're like, what do you need? And it's funny because like the cat was the first one to look up. We look up at the moon, and we lost our dog, who was like truly our first child together. We lost him last August. And it's still something that we try not to cry about daily. Like, that's how ingrained he was in our lives.
Yeah.
And we looked up at the moon, and his whole body was there. I'm not kidding. We saw the exact same thing. It was clouds that were him. And like, my husband grabs my hand and squeezes it, because it's one of those things where you're like, you don't want to speak and like not and like jinx it. Like, so like, and then it moved to like his face, and it was his face. And it was one of those moments, my husband and I just look at each other and we both start bawling, and I go, you just saw him? And he was like, that was him. It's one of those things where you're like, did I just see that?
Yeah.
But it was his face in a cloud.
I believe
in front of the moon, right at the moment that we looked up. It was,
and the cat got you to look up.
The cat,
and the energy came to the cat, and was like,
he and the cat were best friends. But I've also heard too that cats, like, they can see and sense and know spirits like way more. Anyway, but yeah, and they were best buds, our dog and our cat. So
I love that so much. I believe you. And I used to always say, because I've had so many of these kind of spirit signs in different ways, that's really beautiful. I used to say, that's unbelievable. But then I started saying, that's incredible.
It's incredible.
And delightful too, right? It's such a nice visit. Like, that happened. The fact that you shared it, it's so helpful when it's shared. It's like, I'm not alone with it, because otherwise it does feel like,
you're like, am I manifesting this? Like, I'm really good at manifesting.
And it's also like, I don't want to talk about it, because that was
people will think that you're
and even
like, Jene, are you on shrooms again?
and one thing I want to say about saying, I don't even want to discount shrooms, because
of course not.
Well, the reason I'm saying, because I do feel that is a way people might discount things, like, you're on psychedelics, you saw something, but actually
we were sober.
But also, even if you were, my ex, I don't know if he was a boyfriend, but we kind of went out there for a minute, like, we went, and I have these photos. Like we saw it and took photos from 2 different cameras of this cloud, and I'll show it to you. It's an angel in the sky with an arrow pointing straight up. I've never seen an arrow in the sky, but we were on psychedelics. But the camera, we're like, I wanted to see. I wanted to know, am I seeing this with psychedelics? You're on a different frequency.
Completely.
And who knows what moves clouds? I mean, it's just
we don't know.
It's physics, y'all, and it's metaphysics. So it's really cool. I just want to share that.
I love that. Well, and good on you for being able to work a camera while you're on psychedelics.
Well, it's just a phone.
That's impressive. Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty easy. Yeah. So okay. I feel like that's a resource. Humor's a resource.
Humor's a resource.
Meditation is a resource.
Meditation is a resource.
And then you have this religious trauma, and I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about, was it hard for you to make peace with, like I know some folks that are in my recovery program, which is a spiritual program, struggle with the spiritual aspect of it because they have religious abuse. Was there any impact about your religious trauma with your spirituality, I guess?
I think I rebelled against it for a while. But then it's like, higher power calls you anyway, whether you want to go down that path. Anyway. And I mean, truly it was, therapy is a higher power for me. It was kind of the first time I was able to feel safe kind of telling the secrets, of my family, because in those religious structures, like the last thing you do is break away and tell, right?
Okay.
So, and for me, it just, and honestly, psilocybin therapy has really helped me, because I felt like I had plateaued and with all the years of therapy, but that it just feels so differently in my body where, any type of, religion or, because I can see the oppression and I'm not saying I have friends that are Christians. I do, dear friends that are Christians and religious, and they know my background and are respectful of it, and we can believe different things and still love each other. But it felt differently in my body. Like the first time I think I meditated and like actually was aligned with source. And I also felt that in my psilocybin experience. It's literally safety versus feeling unsafe.
Yeah.
It's like safety in my body. And that has been.
And from there, you can look at anything.
Yeah.
When you know, hey, I am safe. And I think connecting with that part of us that is consciousness that doesn't die. Like there's a knowing or something that there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Because you can't, a part of us is part of the oneness. Am I putting words in your mouth? That's what I feel.
No, and it's truly like I'm so grateful to the universe. Like, granted, I still do have friends who is like, when I was pregnant, I was like, well, I'm, whatever, sex they come out as, that's fine. It's like, well, if God wants it to be a female, I'm like, the universe. And she's like, well, God. And I'm like, the universe. I do have to correct some of those friends that we believe different things. But I do, it's such, to me, it's always been such a gift from the universe to be able to say religion and spirituality. I have one friend who's like, meditation and prayer are 2 completely different things. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not necessarily. Prayer is very similar to meditation. So they're aligned, but there was oppression in my religious background. That doesn't mean there is oppression in all. So I think I can really differentiate and understand the gray area. So when it comes to like myself and spirituality, it's like my connection with my angels, my spirit guides in the universe. And it's not about my childhood, which is lovely because as you know, when you have childhood trauma, I mean, you go through your day where you're like, will this stop? Can you like shut off my head? So it really, I feel aligned.
It's your own sanctuary that you have created for yourself. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I like the way you put that. I just don't need, I don't know. I get resistant to most kind of dogma, it doesn't matter if it's pagan dogma, like some of my friends that are Wiccans, and I'm like, I don't know that I need a purple this or a black feather or anything. I just feel like, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying personally, I just have more of a personal relationship with my I don't know. I'm
Well,
a little
it's like
but
my
I'm a little eclectic. You know,
Yeah.
I have a few feathers here and there.
Well, and the way I put it is like,
got a few.
like my day and schedule can be organized, like religion and spirituality shouldn't. Like as soon as it becomes organized, it's like, get out of here. No, the hierarchy. No, absolutely not. So,
Yeah, and then when money gets involved,
yeah,
that's really messy, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. I know, and I think that's why I don't have a Patreon at this moment. We'll see. I mean, this does feel like I wanted to do this as an act of service. So it is kind of an interesting thing. Like I feel like, is it okay to make money doing a podcast and about something that feels kind of spiritual to me? I don't know. I'm still looking at that.
I mean, I think
fund the equipment. Or
I
whatever.
think too, like it is completely okay to take care of yourself when you're taking care of others.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's
just a thought.
Money always gets tricky
It
with
does.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, as we think about what we've shared, is there
Yeah.
anything that you wanted to share that I did not kind of help access? You know, because
Yeah.
I like just letting the spirit guides guide us and stuff.
Well, and also like, you know, you can also, you know, you can deal with time later during the editing. But I agree with you. If it's too structured or rigid, like you don't want to lose the magic of having an open conversation.
Exactly, and what wants to come out, you know, because there's things like, oh, I didn't know that wanted to come out, but it did, you know.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things I know you had wanted me to hit on. This is kind of a funny story. So I know I was an athlete, and you know, after I moved to Colorado, I'd run multiple half marathons and kind of stayed an athlete, and then I got double plantar fasciitis in my feet, and they're like, I should probably stop running, you know, see whatever.
It's so painful.
So it's very painful. So it's been years, you know, since I've worked out. No, I have to find a workout that works for me. No, but my best friend and I were talking about RuPaul's Drag Race, and he was like, he's like, let's talk drag names, you know? So we figured out my drag name was plantar fasciitis. Just aligned with my personality.
It feels like almost like what is the wrestling? It feels more like a wrestling term.
It does. It sounds like a wrestler's name.
What is the
the WWE?
Lucha Libre and Laughs or something?
Libre and that would,
Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah. Hey, Lucha Libre, if you ever book me, I'll do that joke.
That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be.
My wrestling name is plantar fasciitis. Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it helps, right? It helps a little bit. I mean, I'm so sorry you have that pain. And we got to get you some good orthotics.
Yes, you recommended orthotics to me.
I wonder if that guy's still around.
I'm listening to Nurse Nance.
Oh, Nance. Yeah.
Nurse Nance.
Oh, Nurse Nance. Let me take my codependent nursing advice that was nobody asked for. You just mention something. Mention a problem, and I've got an idea that probably won't work. But I didn't know when I was training for the marathon, my right ankle just inflamed after. It was like it was the last 2 weeks of training too.
Always how it goes.
Like, come on. But of course I was, you know, right before the marathon, you run almost a marathon. I think the longest run was 24 miles.
Yeah, you do.
And
right
it was
up
just too much for my old ankle. Yeah. But I got these orthotics, and it was a miracle.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do an aria around it.
Getting back to your nursing stuff, I just thought of like Dr. Quinn, codependent woman. Like she's just, I'm here because I have to be. It's the role that I play.
I know, and it is hard to tease that out for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to help people, or do I have to? You know, like who knows? I don't know. It's a nuanced conversation. Yeah.
And it's like, am I helping, supporting, or parenting? You know,
or am I robbing you of
Yeah.
finding your own healing? Because that is what I'm really working on. And obviously been very humbled by people with personality disorders where I thought I could. I was very arrogant. Like I
can fix it. Yeah.
I thought I could, you know, I thought I could, and over again until finally you're like, okay, you can't, and let it go.
Yeah.
And then I get almost mean about it. Like sometimes I have to watch that too when I want to cut someone loose, like, let them die.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that it's like you go to the other end of the spectrum.
Right.
Where you're
like that's that joke where I want
death becomes you.
I want to heal you or kill you. That's my Southern. Well, Southern codependent.
That sounds like a country song that you
I'd
should write.
either want to. Okay, let's write it now. I want to heal you or kill you.
I either want to lie to you or spy on you.
I either want to love you or leave you.
There you go.
And never the twain shall meet.
I think you should put out a country album.
Should is a good. I'll put that on my list. Okay, so that's on my list for the coming year. I'm going to write myself a country album. What are you doing? What's coming up for you?
I definitely, so like this has really inspired me to, because to be more vulnerable on stage and, not find that fine line between like not trauma dumping, but talking about my childhood. I mean, I've got like some funny stories, like, I thought I was an ice skater.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was an ice skater, and we had this beautiful like vision pond. I used to manifest my dreams in it and put on my winter boots and pretend I was Tanya Harding.
And your family would be watching
and my
from the
family
window.
would be watching and like with pride and glee, smiles, and I didn't find out till way later that we had a septic tank overflow.
That was frozen over.
That was frozen over. Disgusting.
Shit skating.
And I was shit skating. So it's stuff like that where I know I can find these pockets of things.
Yeah.
And like you were really instrumental in me. I told that joke for the first time on stage just a couple weeks ago when we were on tour.
I love how you act out the twirls. And like you really are like, and we don't know where it's going. It's like it could be that she does get a scholarship for this. And then just finds out no.
So, and I mean, and it's just like other bits that I want to bring to the stage. Like we talked about, like I faked my first like religious saving, when I was at vacation Bible school. I was like, How
old are you? Oh,
I was 8.
Like 8 faking being saved?
Faking savings. Yeah. I was like, oh, the Lord's Spirit is everywhere. Yes, I can feel it. And I was like,
Did you say you saw something? Or
I did. I was just like, I feel the light and the warmth. And everyone's like, wow. And I'm like, this is so, what else do they say? It was, and yeah. So
and you wonder how any of your peers that were,
I feel like we all were faking it. And I don't think you're just so young that you're just doing what you're told, I think, for the most part.
Because you watch, have you seen the documentary about Tammy Faye Baker?
Yes.
Now, I'm wondering, like, there was a scene in there where you were wondering, like, maybe there are these people who, I mean, truly are channeling the Lord. Like, I do think, okay, I'm gonna go out here and say,
do it.
I do believe that Jesus lived. I think Jesus is an amazing spirit.
I feel like he had good vibes.
I think he had some good vibes. And I do believe that people, I mean, it's just, I don't like the exclusiveness of, like, I don't believe in a jealous God. Like, what omnipresent, omnipotent
is going to have
human I'm jelly. I'm so jelly.
That's such a human
That's such a projection of our ego.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, that's my personal opinion.
I'm like, that was when I faked Jesus was my first. Don't talk about my boyfriend. He was the first I faked it with. Okay. Maybe that's where that joke can go.
Yes. He was the first I faked it with. That was the fake orgasm of being saved.
It
is what
was,
you're saying.
yeah, and it led to just a lot of that in my 20s.
With other guys who thought they were Jesus.
Actually, I did date a guy. We called him Jesus Prius because he looked exactly like Jesus and had a Prius. Yeah, he drove a Prius.
Jesus Prius.
Yeah,
I love that.
Full circle.
This is perfect. I mean, and that fact that like a lot of men do think they're Lord, and you're like you're faking it.
I'm like, yeah, is that what they say? This is so good. Like
the second coming. I don't know. Does any woman fake multiple orgasms?
Oh my God.
If you have ever faked a multiple orgasm, please write to us. Like I feel
Chime
like I mean that's such a commitment, wouldn't it be?
That is really, I mean,
if you do one, but then to go like, I'm gonna keep it going.
Yeah. And oh man, what talent. Because I mean, even I had to stand up there for 5 minutes. I was like, this is definitely like Christ love and Christ.
Was it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
I have to tell you this too. I recently okay. And I was also like, universe, you're testing me. I had an offer to be the manager of a Christian comic and manage their
their
relationship,
their
their
tour,
circuit, and
be
their
the
tour.
interface with the churches.
Yes.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, what now? I was like, I just don't feel as though I'm the best person for that job. So I was like, I got it, universe. I can say no to that. Stop testing me. I know how to say no now. Like,
yeah.
It was really
That would be a
interesting.
little like you know, maybe in a future time, and it wouldn't be so triggery, and maybe never,
and
that's okay.
And also maybe never,
just because of the history.
I was like, that is not going to be a good fit. Yeah.
Hey, good job. I gotta watch now. I've been watching the Instagram, the new parenting reels, you know, where it's like, I can't say I'm proud of you. Are you proud of yourself for that?
I'm very proud of myself for that. I should be proud of myself. That's what I tell my daughter. You should be very proud of yourself. And she's like, Mama, no. She just tells me no. It doesn't matter always for everything. Yeah, whatever I say.
Well, they'll keep us in check. That's another thing, you know, that's your, like, hey, you got a lot going on. You got a toddler at home. You got a new career as a comedian. You're producing.
Yeah.
And then what I was saying is we're going to try and reconnect yearly. Let's catch up. Catch up again.
We'll see how the vulnerability on stage is going.
Yeah, we'll check back and see what's happening.
Yeah. I'm excited.
It's fun to see what we're thinking is going to happen, and then what does happen.
Right.
Could be that plus some other fun stuff.
Yeah, and maybe even some theater. I don't know. I've been thinking.
Oh yeah,
acting classes.
I could see that.
Yeah, so I'm being called to that a little bit.
You had
too.
that first acting at 8 years old of being saved. You're ready, and you've got the Michael Caine. No, I can't do it. No, shoot.
We're gonna.
You do.
It's hard for me to make the face. We're gonna end on this, Batman. Just a little bit of comedy, a little bit of love.
Thank you, Jene Suplee.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You are a joy, Nancy.
What? Thank you. Hey, listen, we're going to pick this up. We got to pick up a little thing that happened in our post talk because it was too weird. It was too real and too like we were talking. Well, how did it start?
So we were talking. I asked if anything was over the top or did I divulge too much? And then you said,
I said, I don't want you to feel like you can't speak your truth. I don't want you to feel stifled. And I grabbed my throat.
And I was like, I kind of like was taken aback. So that motion like brought me back directly to, it was actually just a few months after my dad passed. I had gotten an energy reading done and the practitioner, you do a full body scan and they basically tell you, for those of you that don't know what an energy reading is, and they tell you which of your chakras are blocked. So
energy centers in your body.
In your body.
Most people these days, but we don't know. Maybe they don't know what a chakra.
That's okay.
But
I'm assuming people that listen to this podcast probably know a thing or two about chakras. But the practitioner said she was standing over me and I opened my eyes and she like took a step back and she said, there is a male presence here attached to you. He's very angry. I'm physically intimidated by him. He's a big guy. And I was like, well, I know exactly who this is. She goes, his hands are around your throat. And she literally did this, the exact same motion that you had done. And he's trying to keep you from speaking. You have to do something, or she's like, I'm just getting this message to you saying you have to break from that and your throat chakra needs to be supported. You need to wear the color blue. Why don't you wear the color blue anymore? And
that's the color of the chakra.
That's the color of the throat chakra.
Yeah.
And I said, how did you know that I don't wear the color blue? And she's like, what's coming up for you? And I was like, well, my eyes are blue. And I had a teacher in high school who was in his 60s. I was 15. And he would always tell me I was a vision in blue. And very obviously, that's sexualizing a child. And he would, put his arm around my lower back and, just
made
really
you feel uncomfortable.
Just very uncomfortable things. And I stopped wearing blue. I mean, I truly don't wear it that often, or I do now to kind of take my power back. But she was like, yep, that all tracks. And you need to start wearing the color blue. You need to start wearing blue stones for your throat chakra. And she goes, and you need to start speaking. She goes, I don't know what that means, but are you doing something? And I go, well, I just started stand-up comedy weeks ago.
Wow.
And she was like, I'm being told to tell you, there is something there for you, and it is going to release his presence from you for you to speak your truth.
And it has.
And on stage, I'll wear, my good friend gave me a beautiful necklace that has like an Aries medallion. And then I wear, a blue stone with it every time I perform.
Oh, I'm going to start doing that because I have had so much of that same feeling. Even today, I was doing a meditation and I got called to put energy to my throat chakra.
Yep.
And it is such a don't talk rule.
It is.
I hate to keep citing my recovery work, but that's one of the things of dysfunctional families is don't talk about it. So thank you for being vulnerable today. And thanks for, seriously, because it's scary. Because you said after we turned off the recording, like, I have never shared some of those things.
No, I've never shared it publicly. I know
that feels
close.
Scary.
Very close friends and family know. And also that same practitioner diagnosed me with a thyroid disorder. She said, your throat chakra, you are so stifled in this way. Like, have you gotten your thyroid checked? I went and I had like significant hypothyroidism that I've been treating ever since. So
this has come up more than once on the podcast. I have Hashimoto's. Yes. I have to take a synthetic thyroid. However, I hear bing, bing, bing. Hey, this podcast is not medical advice. If you have Hashimoto's disease, talk to your doctor, talk to your endocrinologist. Nancy Norton, that's me. I am not qualified to give medical advice. Talk to your doctor. However, I hear if you catch it early enough that your thyroid can regenerate and can heal. Yeah. If you start clearing the throat chakra and also certain dietary things like getting rid of gluten and anything that kind of stimulates a little bit of an antibody response. Yeah. Any kind of allergens. Yep. Get rid of it. Yeah. But also, I think the biggest thing is speaking your truth.
Speaking your truth.
Bing, bing, bing. Talk to your doctor and speaking your truth.
Speaking your truth.
To the best of your ability. Yeah. And, we're not saying, hey, we know the capital T truth on everything. We just got to speak our truth. Yes. And that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And even coming on this podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, who in my family is going to get a hold, but then it's like, no, this is my truth. And it's so funny. You've been doing this podcast for a very,
couple years.
A
little while.
But I remember, thinking like, oh my gosh, that's such an amazing concept. And like, I hope I'm going to get to tell my story one day with Nancy Norton, because again, I've looked up to you for so many years, and I honestly was like, I'm going to manifest that. Like, I know that that's something that's going to happen, and and it's so I'm definitely not surprised. I know we like know of each other through other people, but I really think like the time that we've spent together recently, like on the road and on shows, was
so funny going into the first whatever. We did so many recently. I do love connection. Yeah. And so I was really looking forward to knowing you. And we have Christy Buckley in common.
Yes, we do.
And Christy and I have done trauma therapy together, and we have a deep bond because of it. And you've done you've done so much deep trauma therapy. Yeah. So that makes sense that we'd all be friends.
And Christy's my good buddy.
Yeah. And another great mentor and teacher.
I took her class, and that's that was the first time I did stand up.
And she does. And she's on that's part of her life purpose is to help people express themselves and heal that way.
Yeah. Every time I see her, she's probably sick of hearing it. I'm like, I'm forever grateful for you. We're like joking, having a drink, and she's like, oh, okay, like calm down. And I'm like, no, seriously, you're special. It's just, but people need to know because it's changed my life. It was, again, another one of these vehicles that I feel like I jumped on to carry me to the
and there are more.
Level.
It's you don't have to do comedy, just expressing it in some way, whether it's through dance, poetry, painting.
Yes.
You know, I've had artists come on. I mean, it's just expressing it so it doesn't make the impression on you and make you sick, which both of
Yeah.
us obviously have had.
Yeah.
Hypothyroid, which is big. That is a huge impact on your body.
It is.
And thank God you were able to conceive.
Yes.
Because I could not conceive. And I do think it was, I mean, I could conceive. I couldn't carry. So I miscarried.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to bring it up at the last minute, but I'm just saying, I think that was because of thyroid. But anyway, I'm just so glad you got it. You're getting so healthy, and you're able to have a baby. And
well, and you also asked me what I was excited about. Right?
Oh yeah,
and I love that. And I was telling you, I'm like, this is the most boring thing. No, I'm so excited about balance. I balance excites me. Knowing that there's so much, like, because for me, it's like the key to my happiness was, I always thought, was variety, like spontaneity. I'm just a party girl and like life has to surprise me. It's like, no, that's also creating chaos within my life. And there's actually a balance in that, and being like, oh, okay, I've, done 4 shows and 4 nights. What do I need? Time home with my family. What do I need to reconnect with my body? Because I've been connecting with people for so long. So for me, I'm just so excited about balance, and having the resources to recognize when I need it is super powerful.
Wow. That's self-empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for coming back in and jumping back in on that. I swear I don't know how to say goodbye.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends. Thanks for tuning in.
You know, sometimes, Batman, it's okay to be grateful your dad died. And so...
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, and sometimes, Batman, when you're a scapegoat and a superhero, you will get backlash.
I want to thank my guest, Jene Suplee, for being so vulnerable, open, and very funny. And I hope that you, the listener, found this healing. And thank you again for being a co-healer with me. Just knowing you're out there is so helpful. And please do reach out to me if you have any kind of feedback. And I want to thank my son, who helps with this Traumedy loop of music. Remember, board-certified psychiatrist Adira Ray is back next week. If you need a little resource for Election Day, tune in. It's Traumedy Tuesday. We will help you get through it. And remember, no matter what, hey, keep laughing.